Grief can make us do strange things. It can twist our perceptions, bend reality in ways we could barely comprehend. It changes how we see the world, blurring the line between what's real and what's imagined. We fear the unknown, things that lurk in the dark corners of our minds, but sometimes the real horror is something far more terrifying. It's not the monsters that crawl from the shadows, it's the things that haunt us from within, the memories we can't escape, the guilt that truly never fades, the spectator of the loss that looms every waking moment. Inside Chaos, Family from Hell is more than just a game. It's a journey into the darkest parts of the human psyche. It doesn't rely on cheap jump scares or grotesque creatures. It goes deeper. It forces you to confront something much more unsettling. The idea that perhaps what's terrifying isn't just the supernatural, but the emotional scars we carry with us long after the wounds have been healed, or so we think. The story of Family from Hell centers on Adam, a man consumed by profound grief and guilt. The catalyst for his spiral into madness is the tragic loss of his child Ryan, who succumbs to cancer. This devastating event shatters Adam's world, leaving him emotionally scarred and burned by a crushing sense of responsibility for his son's death. Unable to cope his unbearable pain, Adam refuses to take his prescribed medication, worsening his already fragile mental state. His grasp on reality begins to loosen and spirals further into darkness. Consumed by his own grief as his world becomes increasingly distorted, Adam then retreats to the home where everything happened, hoping that returning to the place that once offered comfort might provide him some semblance of peace. However, the home he remembers as a sanctuary has transferred into something unrecognizable. A twist, a suffocating prison. Rooms that were once familiar now feel alienated, and the walls echo with unsettling sounds, footsteps that don't belong to him. The shadows stretch unnaturally long, and the lights flicker as though they keep struggling to hold their reality. The house is no longer a refuge. It is a reflection of Adam's shattered sight, twisted by the grief that has consumed him. As Adam walks deeper into the house corridors, he begins to realize that he's not merely confronting the ghost of his past. He's forced to face the darkest corners of his mind. The house itself becomes a character, unreliable and haunting, mirroring Adam's fractured memory. Rooms start to shift, walls close in, and the air grows heavy with the weight of lost, buried secrets. His fragile mind is already scarred by the trauma of losing his son, but he starts to fracture more and more as the line between reality and illusion blurs. As Adam starts to look for answers around the house on what the fuck happened here, there's something else that happened here other than his dead son of cancer. There's something else here that he's blocking away. The deeper Adam delves, the more he uncovers, not just about the house or anything, about himself. He unravels the truth. His mind descends further into chaos. But while doing this, he found out that his wife, Nora, was pregnant, carrying their second child. She carries the hope that this new life might pull Adam back from his mind-shattering fuck of a mess, offering him a reason to heal. But Adam's mental state is already too fucking gone. His grasp on the possibility of redemption slips away. In a tragic turn of events, Adam, lost in his distorted reality, murders Nora before she can share the joyous news of their new child. It is only after this unspeakable act that the full weight of his actions crashes down upon him. The realization of the life he has taken, the future he has destroyed, becomes too much to bear. Overcome by remorse and despair, Adam eventually takes his own life, unable to live with the consequences of his actions. Inside Chaos doesn't just explore the supernatural or anything like that. It delves deep into the emotional and psychological toll that grief, guilt, and mental illnesses take on a person. It's a tragic journey that paints a grim picture of the human condition when faced with the unimaginable tragedy. The game's central themes, loss, guilt, and the fragility of the human psyche are woven throughout Adam's harrowing story, leaving a lasting impression of how devastating unchecked grief can be, not just on one person, but on the entire family. Adam's descent into madness and his struggle between holding on to the past and moving forward is ultimately a reflection of the human experience when confronted with a pain that may never fully heal. This is a game that doesn't just just want to make you jump in fear. It wants you to feel something. It wants you to reflect on the nature of grief, loss, and the toll they take on your mind. It asks the question, how much of what we experience is shaped by our emotions, our past, our inability to let go? The psychological horror genre has always explored the fragility of the human mind, but Inside Chaos does so in a way that is both subtle and deeply unsettling. This doesn't rely on external threats, it builds the tension from within. The true terror here isn't what Adam encounters in the house, it's what he encounters within himself. The game delves into the psyche of a man who is unable to move from the past, the loss of his son, a man trapped in his own emotional turmoil. As players, we are forced to walk alongside Adam, experiencing his eternal collapse as he confronts the memories and the regrets that he's buried deep within. It's a journey throughout the labyrinth of the human heart. It's dark, it's painful, and full of twists and turns. The horror comes not from the things that he bumps into, but the quiet realization that sometimes the most terrifying things are the ones we refuse to face. This game taps into the universal fear of loss, the fear that we will never truly heal, that the ghost of our past will always linger just out of sight. It highlights how the things we fear most often reside within us, locked behind walls we've built to protect ourselves. The house in the game, in my opinion, is honestly a metaphor for Adam's mind, an ever-shifting, ever-growing entity that traps him in his own unresolved pain. This is one of those games that kind of lingers in your mind long after you put it down. It seeps into your thoughts, making you question the very nature of reality. The game forces you to grapple with the uncomfortable question of whether the things you fear are real or just products of your own troubled mind. It's a game that doesn't just let you watch a character suffer, it makes you feel that suffering in a way that's deeply unsettling. What makes this game truly remarkable is its ability to adapt into something raw and real. It's the fear of what grief can do to a person, how it can wrap their perception, twist their sense of reality. Adam's journey unfolds. You're forced to reckon with the idea that perhaps the most terrifying thing of all is not the house itself, it's the darkness that resides in the heart of its occupant. Family from Hell challenges you to consider how grief affects not just the individual who experiences it, but everyone around them. It's a reminder that our past, no matter how hard we try to bury it, has a way of resurfacing when we least expect it. The game's ability to blend these emotional themes creates an experience that is both unnerving and deeply moving. It doesn't just scare you, it makes you think. Family from Hell is not a game about like surviving a haunted house or anything like that. It's about surviving the darkest corner of the human soul. It's about confronting the things that linger within us long after we try to move past them. It's a game that forces us to ask difficult questions about grief, loss, and the shadows of our past. This is a game that would kind of make you uncomfortable, not just because of its eerie atmosphere or creeping terror, but because it holds up a mirror to the parts of us that we'd rather not face. It doesn't just fright you, it wants to make you feel the weight of Adam's loss, the pain that comes from living with regrets, and the terror of confronting a past that refuses to let go. It is a haunting reminder that some things can never truly be put to rest. They live on, inside us, in the spaces we least expect, and sometimes the only way to escape the nightmare is to face the truth, no matter how painful it may be. Yo, what's up everyone? It's been so long as I'm recording this. It's been 5 months since I've uploaded something, and the reason for that is I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't have an excuse or anything. Well, I've been focusing on school, if you want to take that, but no, I've just been doing my own thing, you know, just been chilling, doing shit. But I'm back on this bitch. I'm gonna try to be back on this bitch, but that's not a promise. I'm gonna try my hardest. I do have a big video that I want to release soon, but I'm just waiting on like a couple things for them, and that's really it. But yeah, I missed you guys. I'm gonna try to be back on this bitch, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time once I have something ready.